Hi there guys, I'm back again. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video, just been busy doing just sort of things, you know, life sort of things. But today we're going to be looking at this set here, Neo Genesis. This is the first set from the Neo set. This was released in 2000, late 2000 I think, in December, so nearly 2001. And this is the second generation of Pokemon released in their first ever set of cards. We're going to be going through some of the well, all of the cards, but we're going to be going through some of the values, lingering a little bit more on the holos than the non-holos, having a look at some of the rares, going through some of the first editions that are scattered around this set, as when I was younger the priority was just to get one of every card, and didn't really concern me whether or not it was first edition or not. But looking back on it now, I wish I'd probably got a few more first editions than I actually have. But we're going to get started on this. So we're going to go for Ampharos first, obviously, as it's number 1 out of 111. So Ampharos, actually I should say, all of the holos for this set in Unlimited in good condition, don't really sell for any less than, I would say the lowest I've seen one sell for is 5, but I could have just been looking at a listing without looking in too much detail, because to me personally this is probably one of my favourite sets out of every single Pokemon set that's ever been released. I don't know why, I just really like the second generation of Pokemon, and I think the artwork for these is particularly nice. But I would say that generally speaking you're looking at, I would say, around £10 for every normal holo. If it's in good near mint condition, personally, that's how much I'd be happy to pay. Obviously varying on the Pokemon itself and how rare that individual card is. But we'll try and be accurate with these. Obviously, as I say, I've quickly glanced at some of the prices of these cards, so do forgive me if some of them are particularly wrong or just way out there. But for Ampharos, so this being a first edition card essentially it does kind of double its value. So you're looking at between £20 and £30 for any first edition from this set that's sort of a standard card. Azumarill actually I think is one of the lesser ones in first edition. I think you can probably get one of those for 15, maybe £20. And Blossom, being unlimited, she's probably a good, I would say probably about just under £10 you could probably get Blossom for in near mint condition. I should point out that all of the cards in here are near mint or better. In fact, actually thinking about it, all of the cards in here should be mint. But obviously there will be some wear and tear from where they've just for nearly 20 years worth of sort of sitting in binders and stuff like that. So I would say they're near mint plus, certainly. Some are in better conditions than others. So we've got for Alligator, so these are some of the more expensive cards of the set. So the starters, there is 2 artworks for each starter in this set, and they're both next to each other. So for Alligator it's 4 and 5. Thankfully both of these are first edition for Alligators. Now you'll pay upwards of £30 to £40 for each of these. I think I want to say the rarer one, the harder one to get in PSA 10, I think is this one. Purely because of the fact it's got a lighter background than this one on the left, so scratches and error lines don't show up as much on this card as they do on this one. But you're looking at a good £25 £30 there. Heracross, not one of the more expensive ones. It's still a nice holo. You can see Pinsir's top part of Pinsir there in confrontation with Heracross. Again, you're probably looking at around £8 to £10 for that holo in near mint condition. But again, it does vary, of course, on which 2 people want it at any one time. If you're going by eBay prices, Jumpluff is probably one of the least expensive cards in the set. I would say again, you're probably looking at £10, maybe even less, even for an unlimited mint one in there. Kingdraw I do particularly like, actually, as a Pokemon in itself. But again, it's certainly more than Jumpluff, but probably not as much as, say, Ampharos up the top here in Unlimited. But you're looking at about £10, maybe a bit more. It depends on who wants it. Now the most expensive card in this set, as I'm sure you would have all seen straight away, is the Lugia number 9. This card in Unlimited sells for, in good condition, sells for between £35 and £45. First edition, however, you're talking double that and maybe then some more. I can't really see any that have sold for, in the same condition that this is in, or worse. It's between £70 and £125. I would say that this is certainly a PSA 8 or a PSA 9. It's not a 10, unfortunately, but it is an 8 or a 9. And just for safety's sake, we'll say it's an 8, and I still think you're looking at a good £100 for this card alone. It is probably the most desirable card in the set. It's the first artwork that Lugia ever appears on. They're very hard to come by. I did see one on eBay that sold that was a genuine PSA 10, maybe a very strong 9 candidate, sold recently for £200 on eBay. You can go and have a look at that. It should still be on there because it was within the last, I think, is it 3 or 6 months that eBay keep old listings on there for. So here we have the next page of holos. Now again, we've got the double artworks of 2 starter Pokemon evolutions. So you have number 10 and number 11 for Meganium. Now I think the one on the left of this is the more expensive one, again because this is the lighter backgrounded holo, and you'll find that error lines and things like that appear more visually in the card on the left than they do on the right. But again, I mean, neither of these are first edition, I have to say, but because they're starter Pokemon, you're looking at a good £20 to £25 each for those in near mint condition, purely because of the fact that they're starter Pokemon, and you'll probably get a little bit more for this one than that one just because of the reasons that I outlined earlier. Now the Pichu is an interesting one. It's one of the baby Pokemon. I think it's the first, in terms of number, the first baby Pokemon that appears in the set, and certainly in the Pokemon series as a whole at this time. Obviously evolving into Pikachu. This is going to be a very popular card now. I mean, you're probably looking at £10 to £15 for this in unlimited in good condition. So quite a nice one. Skarmory, I think, is a fairly standard one. I think this was in the introduction of metal type Pokemon in this, which is obviously normal to people now. But we'll get to the holo metal energy, which was a rare holographic back in the day, and now you can get it as a simple card that people don't even want anymore at the end of packs. But this is number 13. This is a very nice card. I do like the metallic background they gave these cards. I think it's really nice. They're some of my favourite cards. Again, with the Steelix over here as well. I just think it's really cool that they were that colour. I can't remember if they do them that colour now. I'm not sure. I assume they do. Now, Slowking is another one of the Pokemon cards that in first edition is very difficult to get in PSA 10, again because of the very large background and the fact that the Pokemon takes up very little of the actual artwork area designated to it. So, for example, you can get Pokemon, I'm trying to find one now, we'll go to an uncommon, you'll see a Donphan that takes up a vast majority of the card. Now, if this was a holo, obviously Donphan wouldn't be a holo, it would just be the background around him, and obviously this card would be easy to grade because of the fact that the holo area is so small and limited that the chances of it having anything wrong with it are very slim. Now, with this Slacking, completely wrong generation, Slowking, you can see that obviously this card has got a lot of background to look at, and it's in light colour as well. This card is actually probably one of the nicer cards that I've got in here. I mean, as I said, they're all near mint. They look brand new from the front, every single one of them. It's obviously the backs that let them down a little bit, in some cases, but this particular one is probably a good strong 9, maybe not a 10, but certainly a strong 9. And then we go down to Togetic. Now, I think you can get this for about £5 to £10. I didn't do values of Slowking and Steelix. I would say probably 10 for this one, 10 to 15, and maybe 15 plus for this, just because of the rarity of it in terms of condition. Because obviously, as I've said before, you can see that there are a lot of things that can be wrong with this card in the area that's given to it for holographic. Then we have Togetic. So I can't remember if I've said how much this one is, but even though this does seem to have a lightish background, it's actually quite dark in places. Nice swirl we've managed to capture there. That's quite cool. This again, probably about £10, something like that. Now we've got the last starter Pokemon that we haven't yet gone over. This is Typhlosion with its 2 artworks. Now this one on the left here is again probably one of the most expensive cards in the set, certainly in first edition anyway, again for the reason of it having such a light background compared to the one on the right. This one is particularly hard to get in PSA 10. Beautiful swirl there as well. And I think actually the artwork on this is really cool. I think it's a really cool artwork on that one. Yeah, really like that. I like all of them, but I think that's really quite cool. This one I think you'd probably pay £20 to £30 for, maybe even 25 to 35, just because it's the rarer one of the two, and I think it is one of the most expensive cards in the set, minus Lugia. This one, again, you're probably looking at £20 to £25 for this one. And then the last holo in the set, as we briefly touched upon before, this is the Metal Energy. So I think metal Pokemon in this you only had to use one metal energy. Otherwise, you would have had to use loads of rares just to use any ability in this. So there's one there, and the rest are colourless, so you're fairly well covered. So this was essential in any metal deck back in the day. Nowadays, you'll probably pay £8 for it, maybe less. It's not particularly well coveted. I mean, again, it's quite hard to get in PSA 10 just because of the large area of holo, but you can get up to 3, maybe even 4. I think I've seen swirls on this. This one, I think, is only a 2 swirler. So there is one here, and there is a small one down there. I don't think there's 3. I'd have to pick up the binder and give it a little wave to see whether I can see, but just from hovering over, I can only see 2. So we're going to breeze through these fairly quickly, as I'm trying to keep this video underneath 15 minutes. Generally speaking, all of these cards are £1 to buy in Unlimited, and in first edition they are £2 to buy. Now obviously if they're rares, they're going to cost you a little bit more, so you might get £3, maybe £4 for a rare first edition card. Obviously PSA rated, these are worth more, and again some of the baby Pokemon are worth far more than the other ones. So these are the other 2 baby Pokemon that feature in this set. You've got Elekid and Magby, and then you've got Murkrow there, and you've got Sneasel, Apom and Eriados. So as I said before, we're going to breeze through these fairly quickly. I'm just going to glaze over these just very quickly so you can look at the artwork, but just do keep in mind that first editions for this set are usually double the Unlimited, and the Unlimited versions of these cards tend to go for about £1 in good condition, and about £2 if they're not. And again, rares are going to go for a little bit more than that just because they're rares. So we've got Bayleaf and another Bayleaf there, Clefairy, another base set double, so we've got Pad Bayleaf, we've got Croconaw now, and Electabuzz. And we've got Flaffy. I do like that artwork for Flaffy, Ferret and Gloom. We've got Granbull, Lantern, Ledian, Magmar, Miltank and Noctowl. And we've got Fanfy, Piloswine and Quagsire. And then we'll go on to the next page. So we've got the last of the second evolution of the starter Pokemon. We've got Quilava. Do like this artwork. I do like the Seadra artwork actually as well. Got Skiploom, Sunflora, Togepi. It's a bit of a fan favourite. First edition, it's quite an expensive card, I think. We've got Xatu in first edition. For some reason, randomly, must have bought a first edition pack at some point when they were available and got those. Now we've got Chikorita, so this is stage 1, obviously. 2 alternate artworks. We've got Chinchou, and then we've got Cyndaquil, another starter, the beginning evolution from Quilava, and then it's Typhlosion, 2 artworks there. And Girafarig, Gligar, first edition. Again, must have just been from a random pack that I managed to get. If only I'd kept that. In fact, if only I'd kept a lot of the things still in the packs. But I do enjoy seeing them. I have had them for so long now that they are just a massive part of my childhood. Natu, Oddish, Onyx, Pikachu, very nice card, really like that artwork. In first edition, I think that goes for about £3, £4 or £5. I think it's one of the more expensive commons in the set. I've got Sentret, Shuckle, Slowpoke, Snubble, Spinarak, Stantler, Sudowoodo, Sunkern, Swinub, or Swinub, I think, because it kind of looks like a pig, so I would say Swinub, but Swinub I think is what the Americans say. Totodile, the base set evolution of Feraligatr, and then before that Croconaw, and then Totodile. Nice, like those. Totodile is probably my favourite starter Pokemon, I think. Really like that artwork. I don't know what it is about him, I just think he's really cool. We've got Wooper, and then we go into the trainers. So some of these are rare, I can't remember which ones. I think these ones rare? Yes. So Arcade Game, Eco Gym, Energy Charge, Focus Band, Mary, Pokegear, Super Energy Retrieval, Time Capsule, Bill's Teleporter, Card Flip Game, Goldberry. I think this is one of the more expensive trainer cards in first edition and rare. I think you get quite a lot of money for those, between 5 and 10, depending on condition. I think maybe 10's a bit high, but certainly around 5. Miracle Berry, so we're into the uncommons now. New Pokédex. Actually, Goldberry is an uncommon, sorry. One of the more expensive uncommons. Professor Elm, Sprout Tower, Super Scoop Up, and Berry. And then, nearly there, Double Gust, Moo Moo Milk, Pokemon March, Super Rod, Darkness Energy, which I think is really cool. Rare at the back, I think that is. We've got Recycle Energy, another rare. And then this is back when they used to number energies as well. So we've got 106, so we've got Fighting Energy, Fire Energy, Leaf Energy, Lightning Energy, Psychic Energy, and Water Energy. And at the time, before Neo Genesis came out, obviously these cards were all 6 of the energies that were available. But obviously you've now got Darkness Energy, and previously the energy shown at the front just here. Well, that's that for this video. I'm in the process at the moment of just sorting out all of my cards and putting them into these zip folio binders. I think they're a much better way of preserving the cards, and obviously they look really cool as well. And you don't get that horrible ring in the middle where it's heavy one end, up high low at one end and down low on the other. And obviously they're all waterproofed and have really nice skin. They are quite expensive. I think 22 quid is how much this is, but it fits 360 cards, so I think I'm just about going to fit all the Neo series in here, all bar a few cards I think, but I might stack those up as their energies. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these as I continue to put them into this zip folio. I don't know when I'll post this video, but I'm going to be filming another one of these with the other set that comes after this, which is Neo Discovery, which hopefully I'll be filming tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.